You have to imagine he's resurfacing at WWE, maybe even as early as the Royal Rumble in 3 weeks. 1st of February, Malachi Black's music hits. He walks out. Alistair Black again. It's not far fetched. The opening contest on the show, Will Ospreay going up against Buddy Murphy. Now, these two had a really fun opening match. When this match was announced on socials, maybe 24, 48 hours before, everyone was like, brilliant. This is great. The top talents that they are, and this should be a load of fun and stuff like that. Lived up to that. It was a really good showing. They even kind of managed to embed the story of Will Ospreay beating Brody King. So Buddy Murphy wanted to get some revenge on him, which I thought was a good, it was a bit of a fake way to motivate the match, but it motivated the match somewhat. So yeah, it made sense. I like that bit of story. Some really good stuff. The sequence of Buddy Murphy hitting the GTS the other way around from how it's usually hit it to the back of Will Ospreay's head and then nailing Ospreay with a stomp afterwards. Buddy Murphy deserves more, and well, we'll get there. Yeah, great sequence. Unfortunately, Buddy Murphy didn't come out as the winner. Will Ospreay did win the match, and straight after Will won the match, he took to the mic, and Will said, well, firstly, he called him Buddy Murphy. I think I might have just called him Buddy Murphy 5 minutes ago, but yeah, he called him Buddy Murphy and then quickly corrected himself and said Buddy Matthews and apologized and said that, I've been watching you from afar. I've been watching you, and I think he said he's been hanging out with one of his best friends or something like that, and he said you've got a lot of potential and that you don't need leadership. I was like, okay, we'll continue. You don't need the leader, you don't need leadership, you can do this on your own. You can go and get tag gold with Brody, or you can go and get singles gold, but you have to work hard for it and all of this kind of stuff, but you are a top talent, this, that and the other. Said some really nice stuff, encouraging words, and putting him over even in his defeat and great performance. They shook hands. Will Ospreay left the ring. Buddy was left to kind of take in some adulation from the crowd and stuff like that. And even at this point, I was thinking, all right, this must be them trying to signal not necessarily a hard split within the House of Black, Will Ospreay told me I'm good enough to go on my own sort of thing, so I don't need you guys anymore. But they are going to do something with Buddy Murphy. It seemed like that's the angle that they were going. And lo and behold, I think later on in the day, or today, news came out that Malachi Black has finished with AEW, and this is from Fightful, so it's not no ibby dibby source sort of thing. We tend to trust what Fightful says out here. Sean Ross Sapp does a good job, and they said that Malachi Black is as good as done, and we may have already seen his final appearance for AEW. Which is, like I said, it's Fightful, so I trust it. But to a degree, it's we've heard Malachi Black is done with AEW every 3 months for the past 2 years sort of thing. So it's is this really it? But then the way Will Ospreay behaved following their match, it was pretty much that, okay, this is now a new slate. You don't need to be part of any family, have a leader, etc., etc. You're out in this big bad world on your own, and I'm backing you to, get stuff done. So that, paired with the news report of Malachi Black being done with AEW, it makes sense. It makes sense. And listen, Malachi Black in AEW, just to kind of think about this run that he's had, underwhelming. That is, I mean, you could say that about a lot of WWE talents that have ended up at AEW, especially around that time of 2021 or so, when they all went over there following being released from the WWE. But Malachi Black, so much promise, and just not given much of anything, we have to say that because obviously the bookers determine the regularity of somebody on TV. So not really given enough on TV to kind of sink his teeth into, and just not enough TV time in general, I would say. And then when given opportunity, just not really nailed it. You know, when you are given an opportunity, sometimes you can just go out there and take that opportunity with two hands, like so well that they can't deny you, and they're gonna think, I have to use that guy again. You know, Eddie Kingston came to AEW on an open challenge, did exactly that, took an opportunity, and now he's one of the most beloved members of the AEW roster. Ricky Starks done the exact same thing. I know right now things haven't, they don't look good for him, but he done that same thing, took the opportunity with both hands. And Malakai Black, although again, like I say, the regularity of him on TV, maybe the House of Black hasn't worked how he envisioned it and stuff like that, but they just have probably let him down, and he's probably let himself down. Like I say, it can't all be on AEW. Did you grasp the opportunity with both hands? I would have to say no. I would even have to say the likes of Brody King has probably been, and even Julia Hart. Brody King and Julia Hart have been the bigger breakout stars from House of Black than Buddy Murphy and Malakai Black. I don't think that could even be denied. Like, if we split these guys up now, I'm sure people are more interested in a Brody King singles run. And, Julia Hart, we can clearly see with how they brought her back to TV recently, they're invested in this girl, in this lady, and where they've got her to at this point, and the presentation of her and stuff like that. She beat the former AEW Women's Champion on her return from injury. I don't even believe that should have happened, but it happened. So, yeah, I think Malakai Black just hasn't taken opportunities as they've come. It's worked out to be a very underwhelming run. There's been too many reports since he's been there about how disgruntled he is, or like whether it's true or false. And he's been quite, loud in the press and stuff like that about, people are talking about my contract. That's not the case, so I'm still here, or they're just not using me. Not like that, but I'm fit. I'm not injured, so I can't answer any questions as to why I'm not being booked. He's been very vocal in the press over his 4 or 5 years in AEW. The press, the dirt sheets, they've been very vocal in terms of he's not having a good time. Once his contract's up, he'll be back to WWE. So it seems like we are potentially at that point. Like I say, the reports are saying that he may have wrestled his last match for AEW. And even remember, was that his last match, the one against Adam Cole, where he looked like he was saying goodbye to everybody? And Adam Cole was even kind of showing him respect in the ring. I'm pretty sure that was his last AEW TV match, appearance, etc. And then you came out afterwards and saying, I'm not retiring, or I'm not leaving. And now we're hearing you're leaving and you haven't been on TV since then. Malakai, I don't know, bro. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but you can only assume that he is back at WWE if he is going to leave AEW. He's been announced for a indie show, CCW. I think, is it Coastal Championship Wrestling? I think it is. CCW. He's got a match on the indies, so that's interesting. It's not AEW. You have to imagine he's resurfacing at WWE, maybe even as early as the Royal Rumble in 3 weeks. 1st of February, Malakai Black's music hits. He walks out. Aleister Black again. It's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched, but yeah, it looks like Buddy Murphy is, doing Ospreay. Buddy Matthews is being given the key to the kingdom. Go forward, be a singles wrestler, maximize your potential. I think he signed a new deal in AEW last year, so he's going to be in AEW at least for another 3 years, 3 to 5 years, you would think. He's going to go forth. They've kind of christened him that as of that little display of respect that Ospreay did after the match. And Malakai Black, like I say, you have to say it's underwhelming performance and stuff. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about, you know, Malakai Black in AEW. Should have been a lot better, but like I say, they never booked him probably to his full potential, and then opportunities he did get, I don't quite think he grasped. So yeah, that's that with the House of Black.